Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to our live of the week. My name is Cheta. For those of you who don't know me, I am the head of the EntreMD merch division. I am 17, and I happen to be Dr. Una's first daughter. So I'm so excited to be here on with everybody. And today I am going to be interviewing Dr. Sarah. So could you please introduce yourself, and then we'll get started.
Sure. Hi, everyone, and thank you. I'm so excited to be here, Cheta. So, my name's Dr. Sarah. I am a family physician, a wife, a mom of five, and an exercise enthusiast. And I am in the EntreMD Business School, and that's why I'm here.
That's great. That's amazing. Okay, so you said family physician. Is that what you said? So what type? Like pediatrician or?
Yep. So, as a family physician, I can take care of newborn babies all the way to geriatric patients. So, all the whole spectrum, I can do it all.
Okay, that's amazing. That's good. Okay, so then let's get started. My first question for you is, could you share your entrepreneurial story with us? So in that question, it's, what is your business? Why did you start your business? And what does it stand for?
Yeah. So I practiced as a family physician for like 7 years out of my training. And towards the tail end of that, I got into a situation where I just was feeling really undervalued. And I had kind of lost my sense of myself as a physician and what I was doing in my career. The background there a little bit is I also had this feeling of like when I got to the point where I could practice as a doctor by myself, which is what we call an attending, like I thought that day everything was going to be magically different. And then I got to that day and it really didn't feel any different. And it was almost this letdown sense of like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm going to keep doing for the rest of my life. So
Mhm.
that was sort of always there in the back of my mind. And then when combined with at the time I was returning back to work after my third baby, the job was not really turning out to be what I thought it was going to be. And I started to really weigh like, where am I going? What am I doing? I'm taking time away from my family to do this job. Is it really worth it? And when I really like sat hard and asked that question, the answer was no. And so that's when I made like the really scary decision to quit an employed job with no plan. I had no idea what I was doing, no idea if I was going to go back to medicine, nothing. And so I left. And then that was right before I delivered my fourth baby. And like 2 months postpartum, my husband came home and said, hey, I know you're not sure what's going on. Like, you don't know where you want to go with this being a doctor, like what your life is going to look like when you're ready to be, doing something. But I heard this doctor on a podcast that I really think you should listen to. Her name is Dr. Una. And I was like, okay. So he's like, I ordered this book. It's called the EntreMD Method. Like, you have to read it. I think this is what you need. So the book arrives. I read the book in like 2 days, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is maybe exactly what I need. But also, I'm not that person. Like, I could never be an entrepreneur. I don't have the skills. Like, I'm way too nervous. There's no way I could ever do that. And then like another couple months went by, and then I started listening to the podcast because I was in the car a lot, like listened episode after episode over and over. Finally joined the Facebook group because I wanted to get to a video that I had to join the Facebook group to get to watch it. So that was the only reason why I had no idea what I was doing on Facebook. And so I joined, and I remember there was a post this is in the main group, that was like Dr. Una saying like, hey, welcome to our new members, like put a little intro. And I put this little intro, and she wrote back and was like, said all these things like, I believe in you and all this stuff. And all I could think was like, this woman that is like doing all these crazy things, like amazing, crazy things in her life, like took the time to one, respond to me and already believes in me with my like paragraph response of why I joined the Facebook group and what I was looking for. And so that sort of like sparked the, maybe this is something that I should do, even though I don't know what more looks like. Maybe I do have this entrepreneur drive inside me. And that's what that wanting more all along was. So fast forward, I joined the business school. I still initially 3 weeks of like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, oh my word. And then between Dr. Una and Dr. Beckford, who is the doctor that runs the small group sessions, which we call CEO Power Hour, they basically encouraged me and said, like, just what is something you do every day that you're really passionate about, and start making videos on it. And there were two things, my kids and exercise or movement. And so I was like, okay. So I started making videos about exercise. I watched the first one a few months ago and thought I was going to throw up because it was like, oh my word, I looked like a robot. Like, it was ridiculous. But all of that to say, like, I literally had to Google how to react on Facebook. I had no idea how to change my, lurking viewer YouTube channel into like a channel that people would watch. And I did all these things. I created Instagram. I started posting videos on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. I now have a YouTube channel. I'm like about to be at 100,000 views, which is insane to me. Like, it's bananas. And I think, honestly, the biggest lesson there is there are people in EBS and in the world that have millions of views, billions of views, all this stuff. But I have learned through EBS and through my personal growth and development how to celebrate my win, which is I'm about to be at 100,000 views, which is huge for me. And I'm so excited. And I can also celebrate other people. So I think, that got me definitely into the entrepreneur, spirit, started working on this stuff. I now have figured out that I'm so passionate about movement that I have started coaching clients. And so that's, where my business is right now. I'm still very much in the early phases. There's a lot of moving parts, but yeah, so that's kind of how it all came about and where I am now.
It's amazing. That's very good. I think for the people that I've interviewed, I think you're the second person that was like, "Oh, it was my husband that started it with coming to the business school." So I love hearing, those kind of, I would say they're not out of pocket, but they're completely different from what you would usually expect, where someone's like, "Oh, I went to a conference and Dr. Una was there." And I was like, "No, my husband said I should join." And I'm like, "Okay." So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. So since you've become an entrepreneur and you're posting your videos and all of those things, and also congratulations on almost reaching that. That's an insane amount to me.
Oh,
You're doing
thank you.
very good. Good job. What has becoming an entrepreneur made possible for you?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that I've learned through this journey, but also with being in the room of EBS and around all of these amazing people, is that it doesn't have to be like all or nothing. It doesn't have to be, if I'm an entrepreneur, I am working 24/7 hour, like 24/7. There's no breaks, there's no time off. If I'm not working, then I'm the worst. I'm a failure. Like, what I've learned is it can be both. Like, you can, as Dr. Una teaches us, like, you can build your dream business and your dream life that works for you right now in this phase of your life. And what I've learned for me, and with having 5 small kids and a husband that's a surgeon, flexibility, my time is really important to me. And so I can control that completely. And if I want to be doing something, I can. And if I'm not, then I'm not. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, is that it can be both things happening simultaneously.
Yeah, that's good. And then along that journey, because I know you did mention that you left, the employed side without having a specific plan. What was one of the scariest things that you had to do? And then how did you stop that fear from stopping you?
Um, I think the scariest thing was, honestly, so far, I think it was really doing that first video and posting it, because I had done, like, quitting my job was scary. Like, that was terrifying, because as somebody, you spend years and years and years and thousands of dollars to become a doctor, and to make the decision to quit, like, that was really scary. To make the decision to believe in myself and join EBS was another really scary one. But I think making that first video and posting it was the scariest, because it made it real. Like, it brought, out to the world that I like, this is what I'm passionate about. I'm going to try to help
Mhm.
other people do this. And as somebody who was literally nowhere on social media, like that felt terrifying. But then the way I overcame it, because I think that was part of your question, was when I posted that first video, I made a decision in that moment. I'm going to post every single day until I don't know when, but I'm just going to post every single day. And on purpose, at the end of that first video, I said something like, "See you guys tomorrow," or "See you tomorrow," because I
Mhm.
knew that would hold me accountable to
Accountable,
show
yeah.
up the next day.
Mhm.
But it was about showing up every single day, and eventually, not in a week, not in 2 weeks, not even in 2 months, but eventually it got easier.
Mhm.
And now, like, recording a video is like, okay, got it. Posting, like, I've done it so much. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, the example is last week, I was like, oh, I'm just going to do a YouTube live right now. And like, I can just do that because I've done it so many times. But it was a journey of taking action every day to get there.
So how long did you do that for, the making a video every day?
I posted a short video. I think it was like close to 9 months. I did every single day. And then at that point, strategically decided to adjust those goals because I wanted to make space in my life to do some of these other entrepreneurial things,
Mhm.
like start getting clients to coach. And so,
Mhm.
because of my childcare situation and the kids, like, it was like, okay, I need to back this down so I can ramp up something else. But yeah, it was close to 9 months, I think.
That's amazing. Good job on that, keeping
Thank you.
consistent with posting those videos every day. I think what you mentioned at the end of, like, doing "See you guys tomorrow" is a very
Yeah.
good way to hold yourself accountable, because then the people who are watching will come back the next day and they're like, "Well, where's the video?
Right.
New post." So that's good. Good job for that. And then on my next note, you did mention, we talked a little bit about the business school, and we know that, it was kind of your husband who brought you into getting you listening to the podcast and reading the book. So let's say what mode, like, was it the video that you couldn't watch that you had to join to watch, or like what exactly motivated you to join this school?
Yeah, so the video that I wanted to get to, I had to give my email, or I had to sign up for the larger Facebook group, so the
Mhm.
physicians in business group. And so then I was kind of in there, like, seeing what people were talking about, but really what got me to join was seeing other people in the business school and the things they were doing. Like, they
Mm.
were doing all these things despite having fear. They were doing testimonials, and I watched a whole bunch of stuff. And really, again, it was also my husband because I applied one day, like, it was like 2 days before the deadline, and I applied. And Makita texted me like, "Hey, let's schedule a meeting." And I dilly-dallied on that, and my husband was like, "No, schedule it." And then, I talked to her or whatever. And then it was like 10 minutes before the deadline, and he was like, "Just sign up. Like, this is like, just click the button, sign up, be done with it." Like, and so that, his support really helped me there too. But it was seeing what everyone is doing and wanting to be in that room with them.
It's amazing. So what are some of the ways that your life has changed since joining the business school?
Oh my gosh, so many ways. I think the first way is my personal, like, my mindset, my growth and development.
Mhm.
I like, sometimes I'll have moments where the way that I think, I'm like, wait a minute, that who is this? Like, who is this person? Because that is not at all how I would have thought in the
Mhm.
past. So I think that's one thing that has then had a ripple effect on me and the way I show up in other roles in my life. So, for example, as a wife, as a mom, as a physician, because I still do some PRN, like, telemedicine work. So, I think that has had a ripple effect into these other roles where, I've even thought, like, if I had this mindset growth before, like, what could have been different? And that is what powers me to keep going, because I know, like, the future is limitless when you start to continue to pour into the growth and development that exists in EBS.
Mhm. That's amazing. So what are some of the intangible wins that you've seen since joining the school?
So I think my self-confidence is huge, and that really goes with the making videos and
Mhm.
doing it over and over again. I think my compassion for myself and being able to give myself grace is another one, because that's something like in the past, I like the example I gave with the 100,000 views, I did not celebrate my wins. And if I did, it was like this, oh, good job, except look at what this person is doing. Like there was
Mhm.
always a little bit of that comparitis, like Dr. Una talks about. So I think I've really been able to celebrate my wins and also celebrate the wins of others without having that layer of like, well, look at them and that's what I'm not doing, like that piece. Those are, I think, really the big intangibles. And then honestly, like having more patience and being able to live presently, like be in the moment, because I've learned with some of these development skills how to do that in a way that works for me in my phase of life right now.
That's good. So what are some of the tangible ones that you've seen?
Well, so the 100,000 views for sure. I have like I built my Instagram. A lot of my things are my tangible wins are what Dr. Una would call vanity metrics, where it's like not the ultimate goal, but it's showing like me growth along the way. Really the amount of videos that I've created. So I have like, I don't know, 350 videos or something on YouTube. Um, and then my email list. So I didn't have any of that. I created an email list. I have people that are on it, which is something that I never thought would exist before. Um, yeah. And then, of course, like the subscribers that I have on YouTube, and just the idea that there's people that are interested in what I have to say still
Mhm.
sometimes blows my mind. But
It's amazing. That's very good. That's very good. And then so what was my question? Okay, so you did mention wins, right? And I've been, peeking in on Wednesday's calls, and I noticed that Dr. Una always starts with having everybody share their wins before, we even get into the nitty and gritty of whatever is going down. So, how has that specific portion of the call been helpful to you in
oh
like
yeah,
your
that
mindset about things?
Yeah, that I mean, I think that goes right into part of why I joined the school at all, is because I saw these people that were doing testimonials and talking about their experience. And it's, of course, even more rich when you're in there.
Mhm,
Um, but I think it's huge because you see people that are having challenges, and then the steps they take to process through and overcome, and then you see
mhm,
the win on the other side, so you get this like sneak peek behind the scenes. um you get to see all of it and see the journey, and then know like I'm not the only one that felt this way when I first started. I'm not the only one that had this. And then look at these wins that are happening. I mean, that's one piece. The other piece is just there is just this like genuine support and love and encouragement that exists, where it is like such a safe place that people are open and willing to share things that people would share nowhere else, I'm quite sure.
mhm,
And so that piece is also incredible, because we all like every time somebody says a win, like the chat blows up. It's like everybody's so excited. And within the Facebook group, also, like it's the same thing. It's the amount of support and encouragement. It's never about like, oh, well, you got that. No, it's always about like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. What can I learn from you? How can I apply
mhm.
this to me? That kind of thinking.
Yeah, and then so since you're kind of on that topic, um, I know that the EntreMD, the community itself is like very tight knit and everybody loves each other. It's not that type of community where people are climbing over each other to get to the top. Like, everyone helps each other out. So what is, one of the ways that being inside of that community has helped you?
Yeah, I think honestly, knowing that I'm not alone. Like
Mhm,
EBS was honestly, the first place ever outside of my home where I felt like I could 100% be myself, because I felt like no matter where I was outside of my home, whether it was, med school, residency, jobs, I always felt like there was this, like I had to hold back a little bit, or like I was too much, or my personality was maybe too big, or I had too many opinions. And so there was always like this layer of like, hold on, let me gauge the room and see.
Mhm.
And like that did not exist in EBS. I remember that I thought I was going to throw up again. This is like a common theme for me, but we had to do like an intro post the very first time you're in the group. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. And I just said, like, I'm just going to tell everybody everything. And I wrote it all out. And then the responses that I got, I was literally tearing up, because it was like, this is it. Like, this is the place. This is
Mhm.
a place where I can totally be myself, and I am totally accepted for that, like no matter how it looks.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know how Dr. Una did it, but she did it and she just brought all these people together who love each other. I know like when we're at the events and it's like, okay, the event is over, like it's done, and
And
people
people
have flights to catch, but everybody is still talking to each other at the end. So I just sit back and I like watching, which is why I'm so extremely excited for October for the vision retreat. I'm just
yeah.
gonna sit back. I'm just gonna watch everybody. There'll be a time where Dr. Una is like, "Well, how many minutes do you guys want?" It
Yes.
will be like 5 minutes, but then like 15 minutes later, everybody's still talking.
Yeah.
So, I'm definitely very excited for that. So, um, I know that speaking on the Wednesday calls that, Dr. Una teaches a lot. She'll have guest speakers come in and, everybody gets a lot of information and different ways to help, impact your business and make your business grow. So from those things, like what is something that you've learned from Dr. Una that has really stuck with you?
Oh my, so many things. I think one thing is, it's not about, like, this is one example that she'll say, but you can apply this, which is, it's not about like getting to seven figures. It's about the person you have to become to get there.
Mm,
And whether it's five figures, six figures, seven figures, whether it's not even about the revenue or it's about something else, but when she says that, it just reminds me that it's not about the outcome necessarily. It's about who you have to become to achieve that outcome.
mhm,
And you keep, as then you get to that outcome, you set another one. But I think that has really helped me be able to focus on like the journey piece of it, and has really helped with that being present in what you're doing now, as
mhm.
opposed to fixated on where you want to go and maybe you're not sure how to get there. It's like this, it's just a different way to think about things.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. So I know um my mother had this tussle with me and it was like you have to start coming to the calls on Wednesday. But what I had done was that I had intentionally scheduled a meeting that I have every week on Wednesdays at 7 so that I wouldn't have to join. And then she was like, change your time. And I'm like, I will at some point. And so I'd like, she would be like, so when do you change? I just would like figure out a way to slip away from answering that question. And then she was like, so when are you changing it? Like she kept, I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. I'll change it. I'll change it in August. And I had no intention of actually changing it in August. But then August came and she's like, so you're going to be in the meeting today? And I'm like, "Ugh, okay, it's fine." So I'm in, I come in and I watch and, I sit back and learn but I'm grateful that she did that because all of the things that I may not, have, like a physical business or a physical practice, but in the different areas, where I lead in my life, where I'm leading other people, I'm able to apply that there. So like
Yeah.
all of these things like ROIs and all of that, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let me start doing that. So yeah, so you always get a lot of different things from those calls, and everybody has fun, everybody learns, everybody applies, which is always amazing. And then so what advice, right, would you give to someone who's struggling with the idea of joining the business school? They want to join the business school, but either they have doubts or they're not too sure that they'll, quote unquote, fit in, which is not a thing because everybody loves everybody. So you will fit in. But, they're having doubts about joining it. What would you say to someone like that?
Yeah. I would say if you are thinking about it at all, um, just do it. Like, I think it's very clear if it's not the right thing for you. And of course, like if you're really truly on the fence and you're not sure, like Makita and Dr. Una, like there is a way to help sort that out with time
Mhm.
and talking with them. But I think that if you have that sense like I did, where maybe there's more, but you're not sure what it is, you don't even have a business yet, like that's okay. It's all okay how it looks. I think it's really about having the strength and the confidence to bet on yourself. And so if there's any inkling like, ooh, I wonder if this could be the right thing for me, at least explore it more.
Mhm.
And there is one, I'm going to forget now, but there is one podcast episode that actually talks about like who is the business school right for and who is not right for. I forget, it was one of the early ones, but I remember right before I joined, I had listened to that one and it was like, oh, it just was very helpful because it was very logical. Like as
Mhm.
usual, Dr. Una was very logical. And it was like, here's the traits that you sort of need to have and what you need to want versus like, if you know you're somebody that's not coachable and you're not gonna like listen and be open-minded, then maybe it's not the right place for you. But if you are like, I'm all in, tell me how to like, tell me what to do and guide me and coach me, like absolutely get in there and absorb everything.
So she said, just do it. If you feel like it,
Exactly.
just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Just go ahead. But what I will do is I will figure out what episode that was
Okay.
and then put that underneath this video so that people have it. But something that I did want to say about that is that if you are interested in joining the business school, you can type EBS in all caps inside of the chat, and the team will reach out to you, give you information and answer whatever question is that you have about joining the business school. So don't worry, we are here for you. So we'll get the podcast episode for you, but then the team is also able to answer, questions that you have and etc. And now because I am me and I am all about the merch, and that is my whole fiasco that I have going on, what is your favorite piece of EntreMD merch that we have or that you've gotten, even if it's one of those limited ones that you've gotten from an event?
Yeah, it's probably the limited one that I got from the very first business mastermind that I went to.
Mhm.
And really because it was just so special because as you talked about before, Cheta, with the like going to the events, I was terrified. It was the first time I left my kids like overnight, aside from delivering other babies. It was like, oh my gosh, this was like huge, which
Yeah.
sounds so silly, but that it was a really big deal for me to do that. And I just remember like when I got there, like literally from the airport, it was just like you could feel Dr. Una in these other humans. Like there, it was just and instantly. And
Yeah.
then when we got there, anyway, so that t-shirt is very special to me. But I know one of my favorite quotes that I think is on a lot of the merch is oh shoot, how does it go? Pretty pleased with 17 cherries on top.
17
So
cherries on
yeah.
top. Yes.
So that's one of my favorite quotes that she says. But yeah, that t-shirt for me is my most special thing because again of like what it holds specially for me.
Mhm. That's amazing. Can I ask why you really like the 17 cherries on top one?
I don't know. I just think it's like very familiar because she says it so much on the
Mhm.
podcast. And then
Yeah.
she also says it like maybe not every week, but quite frequently on Wednesdays. And I just think it's hilarious that every time she says
Yeah.
17, like I
17
just,
every
yeah,
single time,
every
yes.
single time it's 17.
Okay, and then so for you, in order to get that merch that she just mentioned, the 17 cherries on top, the first one is limited edition, so it's like first come, first serve, so now you can't get it because you didn't come first. So, but the 17 cherries one on top, you can get from entremd.com/merch, or you can scan the QR code that is on the top of your screen. And so my last question to you, actually, no, that's not my last, I have another question for you. So something that I've been doing is that I've been collecting advice from, all of the people that I interview, and I kind of plan on, putting it inside of a book and probably putting it in the merch store at some point. But it is, what advice would you give to 17-year-old you that you can give to me?
Whew, that is a good one. I think it would be to start taking action now, even though you're afraid, even though it might feel really hard or feel really messy.
Mhm.
It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's more about the taking the action that will give you the confidence you need. Um, yeah. Take the action to get the confidence you need.
The action to get the confidence you need, even if you're scared. Okay, I'll be taking that one. Thank you so much. So,
Absolutely.
now that my actual last question is, where can people find you? They want to get to know more about you. Whatever area you're in, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I am Dr. Sarah Ionescu everywhere. So my YouTube channel, it's just at DrSaraiOnescu. That's the same on Facebook and Instagram. And then I also have a website that's drsarahionescu.com.
Alrighty, so thank you so much, Dr. Sarah, for allowing me to interview you. This has been amazing. I've enjoyed hearing your story and figuring out that it was another husband that, was like you joined the business school, because I
Yes.
only heard that once. So now this is my second time. So I've enjoyed that myself. So thank you so much. This was absolutely amazing. Am I going to see you in October?
I'm not sure yet. We're working on it. I have 5 kids, and so
Mm,
it's a little tricky, and the baby is still she's only 9 months, so I'm still trying to figure it out. But I am hopeful to figure out all the moving parts.
We need to put together like a EBS junior type of thing, so that
Yeah,
everyone who has the kids just bring the
you
kids
bring them
learning what the
exactly.
parents are learning. So I'll speak to Dr. Una about it.
Okay,
Maybe I
perfect.
won't, because if I speak to her, she may try
You're running it.
I'll figure it out one way or the other. But thank you so much for this. It has been a blast, and to everyone who is watching, make sure you get your EntreMD merch, because when we do show up in October, we're supposed to take a group picture with everybody having their different Dr. Unisms. So don't come without your merch, okay?